What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Smackdown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the WrestleMania 40 main events revealed, WWE talent unhappy, CM Punk appearing on Smackdown, Bryan Danielson talks CM Punk, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, Wrestlelamia.com. As always, won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as #1 US title tournament. The US champion Logan Paul returned to SmackDown last night, and it was revealed that a multi-man tournament will take place to crown a brand new #1 contender. Santos Escobar, Dragon Lee, Karrion Kross, Bobby Lashley, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, Kevin Owens, and a mystery NXT wrestler will all feature in the tournament, and the obvious favorite is Owens, who has already teased a future match with Logan Paul. Owens and Logan would interact yet again on the show last night, and fans are expecting great things out of their inevitable rivalry. #2, Butch's story arc. It looks like WWE are continuing to rebuild Butch and his persona, as last night he suffered a huge loss to Bobby Lashley. Following his loss, Butch was attacked backstage by Pretty Deadly, and it appears that Butch is going to need help to fend off the duo. This storyline is likely to lead to Butch reverting to his Pete Dunne name and his persona, and some fans are throwing out the idea of Butch getting help from his former NXT foe Tyler Bate. Whatever WWE's plans for Butch are, it's great to see Butch deliver some much needed character work, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. #3, Bayley's turn is coming. Whilst incredibly obvious that Damage Control are about to turn on Bayley, the storyline of Bayley being isolated in the decorated group is tremendously executed. Despite being a heel, Bayley comes across as reputable and sympathetic. Last night on the show, Bayley accidentally cost Kairi Sane a match against Bianca Belair, so it's only a matter of time before Damage Control kicks Bayley out of the group and the babyface run ensues. And the free agent storyline. The top story on SmackDown last night revolved around the legend killer Randy Orton. Both Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce would try to sign Orton to their respective show, and the segment felt like a throwback to the Ruthless Aggression era. Orton's babyface aura shined in the segment as he was hilarious, and it's apparent that Orton is having the time of his life. After interjections from the likes of Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and then LA Knight, Orton decided to sign with SmackDown. As Aldis was raising Orton's hand in the air, he was dropped with a devastating RKO, showing Aldis that he could never trust a Viper. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is #1, Kairi Sane's booking. As we referenced in the beginning of the video, Kairi Sane lost last night in a featured match against Bianca Belair. Even though Sane was protected in the match, she had yet to win a single match since returning to the company. Sane was a huge signing for WWE, and she's one of the most gifted female talents in the world. It'd be nice for WWE to remind the fanbase just how credible Sane is in the squared circle, as booking her to lose every match is a surefire way for fans to lose interest in her character. #2, where's Roman Reigns? Earlier this week, it was announced that Roman Reigns will be on 3 editions of SmackDown between now and the Rumble. With WWE having 8 weeks to build up to the show, just 3 appearances don't seem like a lot. SmackDown remains without an active world champion, and this likely explains why WWE made the decision to have Orton become a full-time star on the brand. It's unclear what exactly Reigns' Rumble direction is going to be, but whatever the case, it's about time WWE addressed the major criticisms when it comes to Reigns' title run. That was nothing downright ugly. The show for the most part was excellent this week. Having US champion Logan Paul on the show definitely added some star power, and the addition of Randy Orton to the blue brand was a significant step in the right direction heading into the WrestleMania season. What do you guys think of the blue brand last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now first story looks at the WrestleMania 40 main events revealed. And top story today takes a look at a report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter relating to WrestleMania 40. In terms of the 2 main events for the 2-night spectacular, logic would assume that Roman Reigns vs Cody Rhodes 2 would main event night 2, whilst night 1 would be main evented by either Seth Rollins' world title match or a Rhea Ripley women's title defense. Dave Meltzer has reported on this in the latest edition of the Observer, and this is what he had to say. The idea of Reigns vs Rhodes and Rollins vs Punk as the Nights of Mania main events is certainly viable, and the former has been planned for a year. Punk returning to WWE has clearly changed the creative direction within WWE. Punk vs Rollins at a WrestleMania event is huge and would obviously mean that WWE will be holding off on the rumored Stone Cold vs Punk matchup. Would you guys be happy with these 2 reported matches main eventing WrestleMania 40? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, CM Punk to appear on SmackDown. It looks like WWE are going down the avenue of CM Punk being a free agent, as they have confirmed that the former WWE champion will be on SmackDown next week. This will mark Punk's first Smackdown appearance since early 2014, and there's rampant speculation in relation to what exactly Punk's role on the show will be. If Punk is set to feud with Seth Rollins over Raw, then this leaves a possibility of Punk having a mini feud of sorts on SmackDown, and there are a number of heels who could feud with Punk. Currently on SmackDown, the heel side includes names such as Bobby Lashley, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Grayson Waller, and any of these names would make for a dynamic TV feud with a returning star. Next up, top WWE Stars Unhappy. Yesterday, WWE shared the official poster for the 2024 Royal Rumble event. On the poster, names included Roman Reigns, Logan Paul, Seth Rollins, and even the returning CM Punk. Although the poster features a vast array of wrestlers from both Raw and SmackDown, some wrestlers have taken exception with being excluded from the graphic. Drew McIntyre was the first to speak over on Twitter by stating, "Are you starting to understand my frustrations now?" McIntyre's omission adds to his current character arc, yet other wrestlers who shared a grievance with the poster include Ricochet, who tweeted, "Oh, I understand," though with the laughing emojis. Interestingly, former WWE Champion Bobby Lashley, who was featured on the poster itself, replied to McIntyre's tweet by stating, "I feel you, man." It's unclear if Lashley wasn't aware of the fact that he's on the actual PLE poster, or Lashley can simply relate to McIntyre's situation of being overlooked. Next up, Shawn Michaels names WWE MVP. Dominic Mysterio continues to have an incredible year in WWE. Mysterio is the reigning NXT North American Champion, and he's been featured heavily on WWE programming throughout the calendar year. Mysterio's managed to impress wrestling legend Shawn Michaels, so much so that HBK named Dirty Dom as the WWE MVP of 2023. Speaking on the Cheap Heat podcast, Mr. WrestleMania stated, "Dom has, to me, Dominic Mysterio, MVP of WWE this year. Every time he comes out here, I look at him as the hardest working man in the show business. He's just been an Iron Man for us. I can't speak to what he does on the main roster, but he's done just everything we've asked him of. He's done it professionally, he's done it admirably, done it to the best of his ability." HBK then added, "Yes, I do think it's been his advantage because a lot was put on him early, and he probably didn't get the opportunity to develop behind the scenes as much as other people have, and he had to do it out there in front of the world and probably got judged harshly for it. But I'm telling you, I have nothing but admiration for that man. He's been a stud for us." Is Dominic your MVP of 2023? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Bryan Danielson talks CM Punk. CM Punk has been the talk of the wrestling world this week. Punk made his shocking return to WWE at the Survivor Series event, and since then, virtually every headline has revolved around the straight-edge savior. It was also reported this week that AEW star Bryan Danielson was a part of the panel that made the call to let Punk go from AEW, and Danielson was outright asked about this during an interview on Maggie and Perloff. As always, Danielson gave an open and honest account of his side of the story, and he confirmed that he was indeed involved in having Punk fired from the company, but there were more individuals involved than what was being reported. Yeah, I'm part of the disciplinary committee. Clearly what happened has happened. I'm somebody who, I like CM Punk. I think he brought a lot to AEW while he was there. There's not a lot I can say about it or want to say about it. I'm part of it. It's really funny. You know how the internet is. Some people will say I was the head of the disciplinary committee. There were more than 3 people involved in this decision, but most of them were all lawyers. To say that I was a head, I don't even have a college degree. I'm not in there bossing people around. I'm part of the disciplinary committee. Danielson will go on to add that he wishes Punk nothing but the best when it comes to his second run in WWE. As somebody who I have a lot of empathy, I'm grateful for all the time he was able to spend in AEW. He did a great job for us. I wish him the best in his future, and I hope his run there goes well. And finally, Randy Orton to appear on Impulsive. Our final story today takes a look at some exciting news related to Randy Orton. Last night prior to SmackDown, Logan Paul revealed on his Instagram story that he had just recorded an episode of his Impulsive podcast with the Legend Killer. It's unclear when this episode will drop, but Logan's prior interviews with the likes of Triple H and Roman Reigns have been well received by the fanbase. But there you have it, folks. I'll look at SmackDown as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.